Do you know that the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, the brilliant mind behind Bitcoin, is still unknown? Nobody is truly aware of who they are. Imagine developing one of the most revolutionary technologies of our time while maintaining your anonymity, similar to a digital superhero. But what is Bitcoin exactly? How did it get started? And why has it captivated the interest of millions worldwide? We're about to start on a remarkable trip to investigate the history of Bitcoin and the effects it has had on our planet. Let's investigate Satoshi Nakamoto's covert world and the creation of Bitcoin together. A multi-decade-long saga of ambition, tenacity, and the dogged pursuit of an elusive idea occurs among the enormous panorama of technical advancements and digital advances. This story takes place in 1982, the year when David Chaum, a brilliant computer scientist, introduced the revolutionary idea of eCash. In response to his worries about privacy in the quickly developing digital world, Chaum published a groundbreaking study titled Blind Signatures for Untraceable Payments. Its pages included a brand new type of encryption that held the tantalizing potential to completely alter the way we manage automated and anonymous transactions. In 1990, Chaum stepped into an unknown area because he was so intrigued by the possibilities of his concept. He established eCash with the sole aim of developing a secure form of online payment. He attracted both skilled people and venture money thanks to his illustrious reputation as a brilliant intellect, catapulting eCash to the pinnacle of success. However, despite the early promise, the world did not accept this novel idea, and by the late 1990s, eCash had filed for bankruptcy, an extinguished but not forgotten light of possibilities. But Chaum's seeds of creativity had taken root, encouraging others with the same aspirations. Two pioneers who each put out distinctive cryptocurrency ideas first appeared in 1998. The first was computer engineer Wei Dai, who presented his interpretation of B-money in an insightful article. Nick Szabo, a computer scientist, soon entered the debate with his Bitgold proposal. A decentralized currency without the need for middlemen was something that both men aspired to develop. Sadly, their hopes were unfulfilled, doomed to disappear into the history of untapped promise. Nakamoto mined the first block, known as the Genesis block, shortly after the Bitcoin network went live in January 2009, ushering in a period of opportunity and change. Bitcoin gained popularity gradually but steadily, enthralling programmers and Do you know that the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, the brilliant mind behind Bitcoin, is still unknown? Nobody is truly aware of who they are. Imagine developing enthralling programmers, enthusiasts, and forward-thinking financiers who saw its enormous potential as decentralized digital money. The years that followed saw an astounding rise as Bitcoin developed into the pinnacle of cryptocurrencies, the most well-known and valuable digital asset on the globe. The banking sector, the technological sector, and society at large were all affected by it. The mystery surrounding Bitcoin persists as the voyage goes on. It is a remarkable story, distinguished by tenacity, technological innovation, and the boldness to imagine a world in which decentralized blockchain-based currencies rule supreme. Long-term efforts to succeed in the world of digital money have only led to failure. Before the introduction of Bitcoin in 2008, there had been 2 decades of unsuccessful attempts. In the midst of that year, Satoshi Nakamoto and Wei Dai, the brains behind B-money, corresponded through email. A forthcoming disclosure was alluded to in Nakamoto's words, "I'm getting ready to release a paper that expands on your ideas into a complete working system." After 2 months, the world received the great work of literature, the white paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Through cryptographic verification, it claimed that Bitcoin was a revolutionary payment system that did away with the need for trust. Who, however, is Satoshi Nakamoto? This pseudonym conceals a mystery that has persisted throughout time. There is still uncertainty regarding the real identity. There are questions about whether Nakamoto is a single person, which leads to hypotheses about a group effort or perhaps the involvement of a corporate body. The temptation of Bitcoin grows as the mystery becomes more and more complex. A narrative of creativity, secrecy, and the alluring search for truth is revealed in this epic saga. In a world enthralled by the potential of decentralized digital currencies, Satoshi Nakamoto's enigmatic shadow persists, holding the key to a story that might fundamentally alter how we think about money and its future. A historic occurrence occurred in the early months of 2009. The mining of the Genesis block, the very first block of Bitcoins. It's interesting to note that this block also contained a time story headed Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks, which caused many people to believe that Bitcoin was created as a direct reaction to the unethical behavior of traditional banks during the 2008 financial crisis. The first Bitcoin transaction took place on January 12, just a few days after the Genesis block. The anonymous creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, handed 10 bitcoins to Hal Finney, a well-known computer scientist who was actively involved in the early Bitcoin community. Finney had participated heavily in Nakamoto's early articles, even helping to debug Bitcoin's early code. In May 2010, a programmer from Florida named Laszlo Hansies made the first Bitcoin transaction in the real world by exchanging 10,000 BTC for 2 Papa John's pizzas. The transaction only cost Laszlo $25 since Bitcoin was worth a little fraction of a penny at that time. The first actual usage of Bitcoin as a means of trade occurred during this significant occasion. Interestingly, the 10,000 Bitcoins Laszlo used to purchase those pizzas now have a startling value of close to $500 million, giving him the distinction of enjoying the world's priciest dinner. Although it is bittersweet, Bitcoin enthusiasts commemorate May 22nd as Bitcoin Pizza Day in honor of this important achievement. The path has led from Bitcoin's Genesis block to the pizza transaction is an example of the currency's transformational ability and paves the way for a tremendous evolution in the years to come. When 1 Bitcoin was equal to $1 in February 2011, Bitcoin had accomplished a significant feat. As word of this discovery spread, Bitcoin attracted more favorable and negative publicity, grabbing the public's interest. By June of that year, the coin's value had risen to over $30, before suffering a sharp decline to about $10. A chain of circumstances resulted in a significant decline for Bitcoin, with Mt. Gox's collapse serves as a key turning point. A significant amount of more than 850,000 bitcoins belonging to various individuals were stored by Mt. Gox, a well-known Bitcoin exchange with headquarters in Tokyo. It reached its peak processing 65,000 transactions per day, making it the biggest cryptocurrency exchange at that time. But everything fell apart in 2014. In February of that year, Mt. Gox stopped processing Bitcoin withdrawals, and a few weeks later it stopped doing any trading at all. The exchange was later found to have been hacked for an extended period of time, which led to the theft of practically all the processed Bitcoin. Mt. Gox swiftly filed for bankruptcy protection as bankruptcy drew near. The long-standing security issues at Mt. Gox have finally surfaced, posing a major risk to Bitcoin itself. The consequences of Mt. Gox's collapse resonated across the whole digital currency ecosystem, creating a climate of anxiety and dread as the future of cryptocurrencies hung in the balance. After a cataclysmic collapse and years of adversity, Bitcoin found itself in a precarious position. It cleared the $1,000 threshold in 2017, rekindling optimism and stirring passion among its supporters. The price continued to rise until it reached an incredible $6,000 in October. As Bitcoin defied predictions and enthralled both enthusiasts and skeptics, excitement permeated the air. Many gave in to the seduction and foolishly chased the upward trend, but finally, the bubble burst, and Bitcoin's price fell to $3,200, disillusioning the newcomers. A new chapter, a boom that enthralled the globe once more, began in 2020 after 3 difficult years. Cryptocurrencies were propelled by the COVID-19 pandemic, with Bitcoin emerging as a safeguard against inflation brought on by government's stimulation. Bitcoin's volatility offered significant returns, and as more established businesses began to recognize it as a valid payment method, its perceived worth increased. Bitcoin hit an all-time high of approximately $29,000 before the end of 2020. The road ahead for Bitcoin remained rough and undetermined, though. The year 2021 turned out to be a significant and turbulent year in the history of cryptocurrencies, as more businesses accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. They rose to previously unheard of heights. After reaching a milestone of $40,000 in January, Bitcoin had a spike that brought it about to an all-time high of $64,829 on April 14th, after Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla would take Bitcoin. Bad things rapidly turned around. A huge market shock resulted from Musk's revelation that Tesla would no longer take Bitcoin owing to environmental concerns and China's crackdown on mining and trading activity. As a result, the value of Bitcoin fell by close to 50%. Despite the losses, Bitcoin persevered and saw another surge in price. On November 5th, it set a brand new record high of $68,521. The future, however, is uncertain as 2022 draws closer. Due to successive steep reductions that followed, it is impossible to ignore Bitcoin's revolutionary path or its potential to revolutionize the world's financial system. Even El Salvador now recognizes it as a legal tender. However, issues with centralization and regulation still exist because they would compromise the system's fundamental ideals. Even though rumors claim Satoshi Nakamoto is a wealthy man, the real identity of the man who invented Bitcoin remains a mystery. The identification of Nakamoto's identity and his decision to come forward is anxiously anticipated by the crypto community. If you have any valuable insights or suggestions regarding the content of this video, please feel free to share them in the comments section. Also, don't forget to visit our channel for more such compelling business videos.